What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to check out my new single if you haven't already, Like You, on all streaming platforms. Check it out. Let me know what you think. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we can need to talk about these Trailblazers, these Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks, and a little bit of the Denver Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Let's just jump right in and talk about it. You know how we do.
If this world were mine.
So yeah, guys, let's. I didn't want to do too many videos starting. I wanted to give them a chance to see what these teams would look like, how they were going to play. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about how terrible the refs. The refs got to adjust. It's a new style of play that the NBA is allowing. Right now, the refs are out there basically calling it like it is a rec game. You know, uh, traveling all over the place. They're not calling the traveling a lot, but they're not calling the fouls. Which I like. I like a tougher brand of basketball. A more mindful brand of basketball where you're not dependent on the referees. We'll talk about that in regards to the Milwaukee Bucks and Damian Lillard. But for the Portland Trailblazers, they're pretty much doing what I felt they should do, and that's just fight. They should compete. You know what I mean? Play with a certain competitive edge. Now, I haven't seen them sharpen that edge yet. That it's not as sharp as it could be. Speaking of that competitive edge, but they're definitely competing out there after that first game. That 35-point loss or whatever. They've been out there leaving it out on the floor. Coach Billups has been doing a good job of tweaking the rotations here and there to see what he can get, what he can maximize out of certain combinations. And we see that. Like I said, Jeremy Grant, he hasn't developed into a strong finisher. So he's going to have to adjust his game and take more outside shots. And we're seeing that. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing him take more threes, um, more pull-ups. Again, I said, this is what Jeremy Grant is going to have to do if he's not going to be able to get those calls and finish around the basket, finish strong um, until he's able to do so, if he's able to do so. But he's just going to have to adjust his game, and he's doing a good job of that. Hopefully he can become a more consistent shooter also in having to adjust his game and be more from the perimeter with this style of NBA play. Hopefully he can become more of a consistent shooter, knock down more shots from the outside. Same thing with Anthony Simons. We know he likes to get in to the paint and finish around the basket. And not that he's not a strong finisher, just that teams are pretty much, they're going to build a wall against Ant. They're not going to allow Ant to get to where he wants to go. So when he has those shots, when he has those side steps, those step backs, when he has those open shots, creating enough space needed to get the shot off, Ant's going to have to do that. And it's crazy because all last season when he was doing that, you want him to do a little bit more playmaking. And now with this season and the new style of play, you might, you might need him to revert back to that Ant that you need to just really have tunnel vision on scoring, on getting shots up. This team needs to get shots up. They need to do it. They need to get more shots up. They're doing a good job of slowing teams down, using that full court pressure. The half court defense isn't where it needs to be. No team is playing really good zone right now. The zone defense is, it's not even worth mentioning. But the half court defense isn't really where it needs to be. So they're doing a good job extending that defense out, slowing teams down enough. Um, Donovan Clingan is he's not fast up and down the court at all. At all. You know what I'm saying? But he provides more of a rim protective presence in the half court. But when teams get out and move and push, it's tough for him to keep up. Ayton is not the strongest. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking forward to Robert Williams III getting back and seeing what he can do, how he can contribute. Reith hasn't really been in the rotation a lot. It's been tough to find, enough time for a lot of the guys who are playing with the mindfulness necessary. Banton, they found a couple more minutes for him. The game was pretty much over, but he did a good job in this last game of still competing, still playing. He does a good job of trying to be mindful for the most part. Chris Murray definitely plays mindful basketball. And what I mean by that is he's taking the shots necessary when they're there. He's not just taking his shot. He's taking this necessary shot, meaning however he needs to adjust that shot, wherever that point of release needs to be, whatever timing needs to be applied. He's understanding when to do that and how to do that in those circumstances. A lot of guys, the way they practice, they're just practicing their shots, so they're just getting their shots off. It really doesn't matter what the circumstance is or what situation is. They're just going to get their shot the way that they're comfortable in getting their shot off. They're not going to adjust it too much based off what's going on, the defense or what's being allowed. Chris Murray does a good job of that. Yeah, it's good that you're willing to run through a wall, but at some point in time, you're going to have to stop, look up, and figure out another way to get beyond that wall, whether it's over, around, under, whatever. You just can't run through it every single time, right? That's being mindful. That's what I want to see from Scoot, a little more mindfulness. Scoot pretty much, is just going to shoot the shot that he's working on shooting. At times, Scoot just needs to get in the paint, get that defense to collapse, and make plays for his teammates. That's what Scoot really needs to do a lot more of. And that's something that is still in development. Understanding that type of timing, understanding that mindfulness. We'll see how those things develop. But that's pretty much what you see a lot of with the Trailblazers. It's just still a team in development, trying to figure out what's the best placement for the pieces that they have. And we'll continue to see that. Tumani's doing a good job of expanding his game. Remember, I said I wanted to see how he developed, what he added to his game this season. He's shooting well. The desire to shoot, he's not showing any fear or hesitation. He's taking those shots when they're. Rupert also a good job taking those shots when they're. You want to see guys being aggressive. You just want to see guys taking what's there and not passing up opportunities. I see Ant doing that a lot, but again, Ant has the responsibility of setting his teammates up of being a primary ball handler. So it's going to be tough. It's a tough adjustment for Ant right now, understanding when to get that shot off, when to pass. When his team needs him to be more aggressive in shot hunting, and when his team needs him to be a little more aggressive in playmaking, understanding those moments and when those moments are and how they change and all of that. That's what Ant is learning right now. And we'll see how those things develop. We'll see how those things develop. As those things develop, I look for the Trailblazers to start picking up some wins here and there. Again, as long as they keep competing and not giving up, we'll see them get better in those aspects. Again, it's not a lot to go on with the Trailblazers as far as, Shaedon Sharpe is still injured. Robert Williams III is out. We want to see those guys healthy. We want to, especially Shaedon Sharpe. We want to see what this team can do. Because remember, they're competing and they're in these games. They're in, most of these games. We want to see what that difference is when you have to account for Shaedon Sharpe when he's out there getting shots up, hopefully being effective, being an impact player. In my opinion, Denny Avdia, I love, his attitude and his willingness to do what's needed. But I'm not sure as a starter if he's there yet. Coming off that bench, he might be, a lot more effective, especially with Scoot, with pace, pushing the ball, putting pressure on the defense. He might be much more suited for that. But with Shaedon out, you got to do what you got to do. But when Shaedon is healthy, I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be that starting two guard, so to speak. We know they push that positionless basketball stuff, but I want to see who's starting off the ball. I think Shaedon might be much more served if he can remain healthy. I think he's much more better served to be that starter, and then you bring Denny off the bench. Again, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But anyway, get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Trailblazers and what they can do this season, and how they're looking. But then we're going to go ahead and move to the Milwaukee Bucks. We're not going to spend a lot of time on these teams. The Milwaukee Bucks, man, they have some issues. A lot of people want to point to Doc Rivers. I'm not going to spend a lot of time this season pointing at the coaches. I'm a coach guy. I'm in support of the coaches. I'm not going to be one of them angry coach podcasters or one of them guys, always point, being critical. But there are some things that you want to be able to accomplish in a better way if you're Doc Rivers. I don't know what they're going to do with Brook Lopez. I said last season or last offseason that, I think they should move Brook. I'm definitely seeing this season. I think it's almost time for Brook to. I think it's about time for Brook Lopez to move on. They do way too much politicking with the referees. Way too much. You got Brook. Then you got Doc, who loves to be on the refs. Then you got Dame, who politics way too much, in my opinion. Way too much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, I prefer to see Dame play above those things. Be the type of player that, yeah, he can utilize the refs when needed, but you know, it's just way too much. It's just way too much politicking for me when it comes to dealing with the referees. When you got Doc, Dame, Brooke, it's just they're really not going to get a lot of calls, uh, on their side. When they're all game long. It's one of those guys complaining all game long. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? So they need to shuffle that up. We'll see how that goes. They need to do something before Giannis says, you know what, it's hey. Before Giannis gets a little frustrated, and we know he will, they need to do something. I think they need to shake things up. Obviously, not blow the team up yet, but I think they should move Brook. They should move Brook, get Bobby out there a little more, get another young rim protector who can run the floor and protect the rim. Sacrifice that shooting that you get from Brook, and just rely on Dame and Giannis. Those guys to do the bulk of the scoring. We'll see how that plays out for the Milwaukee Bucks. But get in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. Are the Bucks already done? I mean, they just don't look good. I'm sure they'll have games where they're playing up to their potential, but just chemistry wise, and energy, and the way things are blending, and the way it just doesn't look good right now for Milwaukee. So we'll see how those things play out. Uh, Man, get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Milwaukee Bucks and Dame. We'll see if they can get their game to a better level of play real soon, sooner than later. And then, finally, we're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets. We're not going to mention the Lakers. We're not going to talk too much. We'll do other videos on that. But those Denver Nuggets, there's a little bit of concern. There's a little bit of concern. It seemed like Jokic, he's in MVP form already. But they're having to rely on him too much just to be in the games. Just to be in the games, he has his output is maximized game in and game out just for them to be in the games, and I don't necessarily like that. I don't know what's going on with Jamal Murray. He was out this last game. Russell Westbrook started, had a good game. He had 22 off the bench. Started this game. The Utah Jazz isn't a good team, so they were expected to win this game. The question was by how much, and they did a good job of winning. By an effective margin. We'll see what type of more balance they can get scoring wise off that bench. But having to rely on Jokic so much, I don't think that's a good formula. That's not going to last too long. That's not going to be good. Jamal Murray's going to have to pick it up. He's just going to have to pick it up and be a lot more aggressive. He's going to have to shot hunt a little more. He's just going to have to do more. He's just going to have to do more. Hopefully he can take, cue from what Westbrook is doing and be able to adjust his game and play in that manner, the way that they need him to play. Um, Hopefully Jokic allows him to play that way, right? And they can accomplish some things, because right now they don't look like a championship team at all on either end of the floor. Defensively, offensively, the bench, the rotations, they just don't look like a championship team right now. Get in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. What will the Nuggets be able to do to switch things up, and maybe get themselves looking like a championship team? But right now, they definitely look like a team in competition with other teams, but championship, nah, I don't think so. Again, you expect to see them do some things, make some adjustments here and there. As far as personnel, I don't expect them to do too many things different. I don't expect them to make any big trades or anything like that before the trade deadline. This is pretty much what you have, in regards to the Denver Nuggets. So we'll see if they can make this work. It's going to start on the defensive end. They're going to have to really get active and stay aggressive on the defensive end. We'll see if they have the pieces to do that. And if they want more success, That's pretty much where it's going to have to begin. So get in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think in regards to those Denver Nuggets. The Milwaukee Bucks, same thing with them. You know, they're going to have to play better defense. And again, that's why I said I think it's about time for Brook Lopez to, because you got Dame out there. Dame's defense is really, it hasn't been good this season. It hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. You know, it hasn't been good. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to need to do some things to help that out. You know what I'm saying? And Brook Lopez back there is not the same Brook defensively. You know, you can't put it all on Giannis either. You're going to need some help. You're going to need some help. So we'll see what they do in regards to personnel. They're going to have to make some personnel decisions. Speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, speaking previously, like I said about the Trailblazers, they're going to have to just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep fighting, competing, and developing. You know, seeing where those rotations will be best fit, where guys would be best, you know, to maximize that output, that production. We'll see what that looks like for the Portland Trailblazers. But we spent enough time on that. I'm going to let you guys talk about it in the comment section. What can these teams do to make the necessary changes? You know what I'm saying? But we're going to get out of here. So I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you guys on that next one. All right.
If this world were mine.